Hallo, mijn naam is Linda Oosterveld van Eigen Wijze internetmarketing in Leeuwarden. Ik ben hier vandaag bij Dan Ariely. Hij is gedragswetenschapper en hij weet alles van irrationeel gedrag en waarom mensen zich gedragen zoals ze doen, terwijl het soms helemaal niet logisch is. Ik ben benieuwd naar hoe hij het ziet, hoe mensen ook online zich gedragen en hoe we daar op in kunnen spelen om mensen online te beïnvloeden.
Our actions are partially defined by what we want, but partially by the environment in which we're being placed. And this is what we call choice architecture. And choice architecture is the idea that the way the environment around us is being created determines what we're going to do. And you can think about it in all kinds of ways, right? You could say, what if your cell phone is next to you when you're driving versus in a trunk? It will cause you to behave very differently. Yeah. What if every day when you go to the office, there's lots of donuts waiting for you versus no donuts? What happens if a form is phrased one way or another way? If the internet is, it's a little easier or a little harder to choose what you want. Discounts are salient, not so all kinds of things like that. The second lecture was on the psychology of money. And the psychology of money is very interesting because, you know, we use money all the time, so we think we understand it. Yeah. But the reality is that money is really quite interesting and tricky. So, for example, when would you feel worse? If you paid for a meal with cash or with credit card?
With cash, I think.
With cash, right? Why is it? I mean, you know what it is. What is going on exactly? Yeah. So it turns out that the tangibility is one thing, but the second thing is the timing. When you consume something and pay for it at the same time, it feels worse. And when you decouple consumption for payment, if you either pay up front or you pay later, you don't feel as bad. Then I talked about self-control. And self-control is the problem that what's good for us in the long term is often not what's good for us in the short term. And what happens is we succumb to temptation. And again, food and health and texting and driving and all of those, problems. So I was trying to kind of describe how the problem arises and some solutions of what we can do about it. And then finally I talked about dishonesty.